Hi, Andrea. It's great to be talking to you. Thank you so much for this interview opportunity. How are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm great. It's a sunny day, and yeah, tonight I'm going to the stadium, so it's great.
Yeah, and you have reasons to be happy. Sleepless Empire is Lacuna Coil's new album that will be released on the 14th of February. What can you reveal to your fans about that album?
Yeah, it's obviously it's album number 10, and it comes out after a little bit of time because we went through the pandemic, and then it was a bit slow for us to restart and we get in the mood of recording a new album. But in the end, we made it, and we're really happy about the album. It's quite a heavy and dark album. And it has like, also a couple of different styles of songs, and yeah, we can't wait for people to hear it. It's there's a little bit of concept behind it, which is observation on the reality of our society after the especially after the pandemic, not only but especially after the pandemic, and the fact that we're always connected with our phones and our screens, and sometimes we forget to live the normal life. But it's also valid for us, so it's not a critique. It's just the way we are living now. So, and that's what we call the sleepless empire: is always on, always online, always connected, but sometimes just like more like zombies than instead of enjoying what we see.
Yeah, and what motivated you to write an album about that?
Yeah, it's just an observation of the reality. Very often our records they talk about obviously every song has a little bit of a different topic, but in general we give a common theme to the whole record, and this time like other times was always on personal experiences, and this time it, I think everybody, all of us, had the consequences of the pandemic in a way or another, and we noticed how much a lot of people after that came back to a normal life, or a normal life of balance between going to work and enjoying time with your friends. But a lot of other people got stuck in the Twitch, the Netflix, the Spotify, and stay home much more and more in a enclosed environment, because they feel, maybe they feel safer in that way, but sometimes we feel some people are missing out a little bit. Also because maybe we are growing older and we've experienced all the life before any internet, any digital world, and also life with the digital world. So we're noticing the differences even more.
Yeah, and maybe that second phenomenon that you mentioned also happened a little bit to you guys. I mean, this is 6 years. Sleepless Empire comes 6 years after Black Anima. It's been a long, long time preparing for this album. Why did you take so long? It was just the pandemic and then resetting and everything.
Yeah, with the pandemic already killed 2 years like that, and we
Mhm.
didn't feel any creativity after the pandemic because it was just a very flat time. Of course, we were on one hand, it was good to be home and enjoy time with the family. On the other hand, it was weird not to be able to go on tour and to travel and to see other cultures, other people, experience different things. So after the pandemic, we didn't feel any creative input. So we decided to work a little bit on the remake of the Comalize record to celebrate the 20 years of the original record. And that helped us going back in working in studios, arrangements without the pressure of a complete new album. So after that, we restarted slowly the touring, the traveling, and that puts us back in a mood where of a normal cycle of an album. And so we started again to feel a little bit more creative and collect ideas, collect topics, phrases, titles, riffs, and so we felt ready to work the record after the experience of Comalize XX.
Yeah, and Sleepless Empire is the result of that process, and it is a great album. I think you should be proud of it. Lacuna Coil has always been a construction of different genres mixed on together in the moment. Somehow it works out. In your opinion, on which way does it build over the last album and evolves into creating something brand new that this album is?
Yeah, I think we've started to take a little different direction in our music from the record Delirium. few years ago. I think Delirium, Black Anima, Comalize XX, and Sleepless Empire, they all work kind of in the same direction with some differences here and there, but they're more in the same heavier direction of Lacuna Coil. And that's for a lot of different reasons. Obviously the creativity of especially Marco, the bass player, which is the main songwriter, brought us in that direction. He wanted to bring back some of our influences from the 90s as well, some bands like Sepultura or Fear Factory, Machine Head, and that heaviness combined with more melodics and more dark arrangements. And also the fact that music in general and society as well, they all got into a heavier, more mixed, confused direction. And also the fact that we got different musicians available in the lineup, and that's also allowed Marco, for example, to experiment a little bit more with certain double bass patterns, guitar patterns as well. And that also, of course, you can also follow a little bit more the musicians you have. And so it's a combination of different things that brought us in this direction. And we like it, but that doesn't mean that in the future we might not do something more acoustic or electronics or, we're a band that shift a little bit all the time. We try not to repeat exactly the same record over and over. So we are one of those bands. There's certain bands that are better great at repeating the formula, like I don't know, Iron Maiden or AC/DC or Disturbed, for example. And certain other bands are better at changing and evolving and developing different styles. And we're more of the second case. We grow up with bands like Fate No More or bands that are always been changing. But also the Pantera, the Metallica, the Slayer. All the classic, but also hardcore music, but also alternative music. So we have quite a variety of taste. And as people, maybe we're also like that. We're also people that like to live more in the present than in the past, although we respect the past, obviously.
Yeah, and that's one of Okunak's trademarks. I think the way you reinvent yourselves and with each album create something that you never done before. I think that's brilliant. You've done that throughout your whole career. I think that's brilliant. But how do you see Sleepless Empire as like the next step over to what you are achieving now? Do you see like a certain direction towards your heading?
No, I mean, I think this is like a more of a I mean, we are here, and then we next time we will go somewhere else, but we're not really thinking ahead now. I mean, now we just finished this work, and I think we still feel we have some different to say, and maybe we will release some other songs afterwards, not now, but after the first part of the touring, we try to work on some more new songs without thinking of a complete new album, but maybe just some songs which can be a little different and throw them out there. But for now, we're very happy with Sleepless Empire, and I think we're gonna bring these first to the people, and then we can work something else. But we still feel we have some other places to go we haven't been yet. But with time, we don't need to rush it now, and more enjoy what we have now and do all the touring, do all the promo. We have some more surprises, but surely this could be next step is gonna be after the cycle of touring. We need to collect some more experiences before we feel ready to go somewhere else. So for now, this is what we have now, but doesn't mean it's gonna be the same. But some stuff will stay as well, of course. Some stuff will go. Like always.
Yeah, and now that you mentioned the tour, what are your touring plans that you have booked so far?
Yeah, we're gonna start in South America, in Argentina, Chile, Brazil, Colombia. Then we're going in Central America with Honduras for the first time. We've never been, and Mexico for a few shows. And then from there we go to North America with Machine Head, In Flames, and Unhurt for a tour all over America and Canada. And then we're coming back to Europe, play some summer festivals in the summer, and then the European tour in the fall, October, November. You see all the dates on lacunacoil.com. And now we're working after that. Probably we're gonna work on Asia, Australia, and after that, normally you restart. You do again America probably and Europe again, festivals again. So, but now we're thinking, I think this year is completed with tours. Now we're thinking, we're working on 2026.
Yeah, and on the European leg of the tour, you are going to come to Lisbon. That's on the 17th of October. What can the Portuguese fans
Yeah.
expect from that show?
Of course, we're thinking more of the South America and North America because they're very
Yeah, the
coming
closest, yeah.
in a few months, let's say. But I believe there's gonna be a mix of the new songs and classic Lacuna Coil songs, and also some little gems from the past, some surprises. And we haven't toured in Europe for a while, so we're gonna be have a fat set list, and but we haven't worked yet the visuals and the that there will be that as well, obviously, but not yet because obviously first we do the North America, we see what we develop with that, and then we move forward and we maybe change the look a little bit and bring something new on stage. But it's going to be a great show, especially because we haven't been in a long time in Europe, so it's going to be a fun tour for sure.
Yeah, and how hard is it to balance a set list? I mean, with a career as vast as Lacuna Coil have.
It's getting harder and harder, especially when you do a support tour like we're doing with Machine Head and In Flames. We're gonna play probably 45 minutes, something like that, maybe 50. And it's hard because by the time we play all the new songs we just released, and then put some of the old songs, the set is over already, so it's very hard to on a headline it's a little easier because we have a bit more time, of course, but on the support is going to be tough, but support you do it mostly to promote the newer stuff to the people that might not have heard you before, while when you headline you can play the songs for the fans and the classics, and but it's getting harder and harder because there's always those three, four songs from every record that people would like to listen, but not always possible to put all of them because now we are album number 10. So it's even if we don't really play a lot of stuff from first two records because those are very, very in the past. But sometimes we like to bring out one of the older ones for sure, but not easy because you have such a long set list, and if you don't, you cannot forget to play Heaven's a Lie or Swamped or some other songs. People are Trip to Darkness, Enjoy the Silence, that people want to hear. So it's hard to sneak in some surprises that are only for a few people. But we'll try to put some.
Yeah, and I'm sure you'll do a great job on that as well. Now, which songs from Sleepless Empire are you most looking forward to playing live? Not necessarily the ones that you are going to play, but in your personal opinion, which are the ones that you are most looking forward to?
Oh, I know already what we will play. Of course, we have to play the songs that have come out as singles so far. Of the other ones, it'd be interesting. Maybe this title track, "Sleepless Empire," could be a good song, and the first one, the Siege, is also a good live song, I think. But we haven't rehearsed a lot of the new ones yet, so we have to actually go in the practice room and play and see which one. Because sometimes songs that are great to listen to in the record, maybe when you play them, they're not as much fun as they are to listen to. Because sometimes your part is very simple and repetitive, so it's not fun to play. But sometimes more fun to listen to the final song in the CD in the album, but not necessarily to play the song live. So you have to actually play that in the practice room to understand how much this is gonna be great in the live setting. But some songs, like Oxygen, we already played on the UK tour, and in the meantime, we already played in America. So some we already know they go down well. But obviously, Hosting the Shadow is doing really well live. But we will have to play Gravity, and I Wish You Were Dead as well. So there's gonna be, we have to see once we play the song, which one is going to be more fun. But probably Sleepless Empire and The Siege for sure are going to be live songs.
Yeah, sounds like a good plan. Now that you mentioned I Wish You Were Dead, I think that's one of your most catchy songs like, ever in your entire career. How was the composition process for that song? Did it undergo any special treatment?
Yeah, it was quite actually, it's one of those songs that I think Marco, our bass player, which is the main songwriter, had to kind of simplify because Christina came up with this vocal line, and he was already really good, flowing really well on his own. So instead of complicated with putting more arrangement, we try to dry it out and make it more about the vocals. It's, you know, some songs are vocals go together with music and they're the same importance. Some songs vocals are more important than music somehow. Not more important, but they're gonna have a more prominent than the music. And that's what the case for this song. You know, we have a lot of songs where there's a lot of guitar work or drums work, and the vocals are more there to give the rhythm, you know, and to open the chorus. And some other songs, like I Wish You Were There, more about the vocal line and the lyrics, which are black humor a little bit, you know, more sarcastic, love and hate kind of lyrics. And so the vocals are more important to be outlined than anything else on that song, you know. We have a video coming out for I Wish You Were Dead, which is coming out right before the release of the album. And it's gonna be a really fun video as well, also black humor a little bit. And we just shoot it like a week ago, so we're very excited about this song. I think it's the song that is different than anything else on the record. That does that, and probably also a little bit Sleep Paralysis, which is more of a slower song with different atmospheres. So those two probably are the most diverse song than all the rest of the record. And it's good to have. I mean, I think it's good when you listen to a record to have also a moment of, especially Sleepless Empire is quite an intense record with a lot of arrangement, a lot of heavy parts. So it's good to have something more breathe, you know, something more light in a way that give you a different atmosphere for a little bit and then go back to the heaviness. So I think it's necessary in a record to have a little bit of balance of this.
Yeah, and what about your vocal part? Did you try anything new for this album or any new technique?
It's just mostly a lot of growl, a lot of screaming as well, very long growl, very rhythmical parts like in Gravity. So I experiment more with rhythm and more with length of the screaming, and it was fun to do actually because I always did growl vocals also in the past, but never use it for a little bit or Lacuna Coil for a certain number of years. We haven't used it so much, and then back and go back to it, and it was fun to understand how much you can incorporate what you learn from singing more clean and incorporate it with the growl. You know, bring in the same breathing technique and make it longer, higher kind of screams. So we play a little bit with that, and it's I think we had a lot of fun. And sometimes it's just also easier when you have a great chorus from Christina, and me and Christina, we have different ranges of voice. So sometimes if I do the more rhythmical, extreme voice, it's easier to fit than to try to put on normal singing parts again because of the range. So this way we could give the best as rhythmical and the best as melodics as well, you know. So it worked out really well, but that doesn't mean that in the future we're not going to use again some clean voice as well, you know. There will be other songs in the future where we use it, we will use it. But it's just the way the album was, it just needed more of the
It's
rhythmical and heaviness than for me.
Yeah, and this album also shows you becoming a quartet again with the departure of Diego Cavalotti. Why did you decide to embrace the journey now without uh, a second guitarist?
Yeah, I mean, mostly we always worked the record in three. Me, Marco, and Christina, we always done every album since a long time now. At least since Delirium. Even we always been the main songwriters. But before, maybe when we were six in the band until Broken Crown Hello, there was a little bit more of participation from other members also in bringing some riffs or some arrangements. Nowadays, it's been a long time since only the three of us write all the music and lyrics, and so we feel comfortable this way. Diego was mostly a live guitarist and recording also in the studio the parts that Markov wrote. So it wasn't much change in terms of how we work. You know, now we have we're trying a new guy called Daniele, which is has been helping a little bit in the studio, and he's been doing the tour we've done in the spring sorry in the autumn in UK, and he will come with us on the next tours, and we will work together for a while and see how he does, if it's feel comfortable working with us. He's very he's more of a like a studio guy as well. He has a little studio. He produce. He is more of a equipment guy, you know, more expert in mixing and a lot of sounds and stuff. It's more on the gear, and that so he's giving a big hand on that side. And we needed something different, when we wanted somebody that participate a little more in helping out with especially with all these aspects of the band. But live, we already tour with him, and it doesn't much change a lot. We're more or less same as before. We obviously it's a different guitar player, but the parts it's been written by Marco anyway, so not huge change, on
Yeah.
a live setting.
Yeah, and besides the four of you, you also have some guests. Would you like to introduce them and what to tell all their parts
Yeah,
came to be in the album?
yeah, we wanted to try put a couple of vocalists as guests in the record because we never done before. We had some guests in Delirium, for example, but they were guitar players. We had like Miles Kennedy from Alter Bridge doing a lead guitar. We
Mhm.
had Mark from Nothing More doing lead guitars. We had some other Italian friends as well. But we never had a singer guest, so we decided to ask Randy from Lamb of God because he's an old school friend. We know each other since when we played in Oddsfest 2004, so over 20 years. We've toured together many times in different situations around the world, and we're very close friends. We love Lamb of God. Randy loves Lacuna Coil, and we've been friends so many years. Every time not every time, but sometimes when he finishes a European tour, he comes down to Italy, to Milan, and we go out together for dinner, to
Mhm.
go to a photo exhibition. We're friends beyond. We have a chat on WhatsApp for bullshit. So we're friends beyond. And so it was one of the names we wanted to have in the record for sure, since we never had guests. Randy has to be there. And so we asked, and he was immediately really happy about it. And he did a great job. He put some extra arrangement on the song as well, and he made it a little bit more crazy. So it was fun to do. And uh, and then we had Ash Costello from New Year's Day. We never met her in person, but we wanted to have a female singer with a voice that was more of a rock voice, more raspy and dirty a little bit, not so clean, not so operatic, because the song was going more in that direction. And so we decided we had two or three names in mind, and we asked her, and she was immediately enthusiastic about doing it. She did a great job. She brought also some little arrangement on the vocals, which were more maybe American than what we would have done normally. And then we did the song together at some American festivals and on tour together, and he did great. So she did great job. So we're very happy about the result. And in the future, maybe we can do something else, but we didn't want to do too much on this record because it's the first time, and we already have two voices in the band. So we did it, step by step, and maybe in the future we'll do something else.
Yeah, I think it worked out really really well. I mean, it wouldn't be another way with you guys. Now, Lacuna Coil is also close to celebrate their 30th anniversary. Yeah, and what are you preparing for that
So,
special date so far?
but we're not thinking about it, to be honest. And it's so far away that
Yeah.
we still have so many things to do with this record, and we're going back to tour, and so we're more focused on the next 1 year or two maybe, and we have projects for those 2 years, but no, not really thinking so far ahead. We will do something for sure, but we don't know yet, of course.
Yeah, it's still a long time away, so you have a long time to plan as well. Well, Andrea, I think that's it. Thank you so much for your time. Would you like to send any message to your Portuguese fans?
Yeah, we're very excited about coming back to Lisboa, Lisboa ao Vivo, I think is the venue. And
Yeah.
so see you all there. Lacunacoil.com if you want to get your tickets or want to see when the date is. And so see you very soon. We're going to bring a great show, and hopefully we're going to have, as always, a great show like we always did in Portugal. So see you all there very soon.